Hello, everyone. Welcome to day three of the It's Time to Move Beyond Barriers virtual summit. This is our online event, and I'm super excited to be with you today. Today, we're going to be talking with a few of our speakers about some good things about how you can move beyond barriers in life and business. And I'm excited to be introducing to you our first summit speaker today. And so I'm going to share with you um, her information and then bring her on to join us. But before we get there, I want to make sure that you know that you can go to get your summit pass to make sure you get the updates to the room. So I'm going to post that in the chat so you can have that. So you can get the email updates and join us live here for the You Are Worthy .live / MBB. That you can join us for the It's Time to Move Beyond Barriers event. Make sure that you are getting the emails that are talking about when we're going live and being kept updated. What also comes with this link is your ability to join us in VIP, which will give you the workbook when you're listening to the lives or coming back to the replay to work through what the speakers are sharing with you. So welcome to the It's Time to Move Beyond Barriers online event virtual summit, and I'm excited to bring to you today our first speaker. Super excited to have her on, and she's going to share more with you. I'm going to be bringing her on in just a moment, but I'm excited because we're going to be talking about self awareness and stepping into self awareness. And so I'm going to take the time right now to introduce you to Tangi McDougald, who is dynamic. Tangi McDougald is a Connecticut native, and she's also a counselor. She received her degree in social services, her initial degree, and attended the University of Hartford, where she got her undergraduate degree in psychology and sociology. Then she received her master's degree in clinical mental health counseling from the University of St. Joseph College. And after she got done with graduate school, Tangi worked for a nonprofit. She's done trauma informed cognitive behavioral therapy. She's led with her passion and worked to bridge the gap between inequities in mental health care. And in 1997, Tangi founded the Community Matters LLC. It's a group practice that services both children and adults. And based on the needs of the community, Tangi has served in ways that has helped her community grow and step into better health, but has also helped her practice pivot to focusing more on adults. And she also formed the Community Matters Outpatient Psychiatric Clinic for Children in 2020. And that organization that she founded has a mission to focus primarily on the impact that trauma has on children. Tangi is a best-selling author, an award-winning business leader. She is a life member of the NAACP and community service, chair of Theta Alpha Sigma Alma, chapter of Sigma Gamma Rho Incorporated. And Tangi describes her quest to change the stigma around BIPOC and mental health. It's personal. It's personal for her. And she runs these two mental health clinics, and she serves as a counselor, coach, and consultant to other inspiring clinicians who are looking to start and scale their clinical practice. So, everybody, I want you to help me welcome Tangi McDougald. Welcome, Tangi. It is so good to see you. I'm super excited that you are joining us this evening.
Wow, and I am super excited to be here tonight. I've been posting all day. I'm excited. Anything that's going to help elevate us as leaders in the world, as game changers in the world, I get excited. I get this itchy feeling about. So, thank you.
Absolutely love it. And I'm excited to talk with you today for a few reasons because I know you have so many beautiful nuggets to share with everybody who's on listening and those who are joining us via replay. And I want to ask you about and talk with you about self awareness. And what is that? What and how does that really help people and impact them when they step into that aspect of being aware?
Wow. Self awareness is just so crucial to our relationships and to who we are, serving as individuals in the world and how we show up. And it really is the ability to recognize your own self, to recognize how your cognitive thoughts plays with your feelings and emotions and how that interacts or has an effect on the way that you respond, your behaviors, right? So it's that whole your thoughts plays into the way you feel and the way you react. It also requires to be self-aware. It requires you to really dig and get further insight into your own personality traits,
Hmm.
checking your beliefs and value system, understanding. Listen, if you're not self aware, you're not able to understand what your strengths and what your weaknesses are. And so
Hmm.
that's what I mean when I say that it really impacts, right? It impacts your relationships because if you can't understand that to see how the world perceives you, you can't grow.
So having and stepping in awareness gives you an opportunity to grow, right? When you understand that,
Absolutely.
it,
Absolutely.
it gives you an opportunity to understand who you are, your value system, so that you can share it with other people.
Absolutely. And if you're not doing that, if you're not self-aware of who you are, you'll start to question the world like why are things happening this way? Whether
Hmm.
good, bad or indifferent. Like why are my relationships falling apart? Why is my business falling apart? Why is my finances falling apart? There's a cause and effect to everything. And so being self-aware will help you understand and move toward the embetterment of who you are.
Definitely. And so what was coming up for me, because well, essentially it starts with you. It starts with
Absolutely.
the person, right?
Mhm.
Um, and being in that moment of being aware and open. Definitely. So
Absolutely.
I want to ask this question because I think self reflection comes into play when we think about stepping into self awareness. So, can you talk a little bit more about that connection, the role that self reflection plays in developing self awareness?
Oh my goodness. It's essential. It's a crucial role. In order for you to even get to self-awareness, it's a gateway, right?
Yeah.
To
Hmm.
have a self-reflection, to be able to sit into yourself and be able to take the time to gain introspect of who you are and examine the thoughts. Why am I thinking this way? Why am I feeling this way? Why are my actions this way? And then that's how you tap into your whole belief system and what's happening. If you're not self reflecting, you can't be self aware. They kind of go hand in hand, right? So it by engaging in self reflection, individuals can gain a deeper understanding. You really are gaining a deeper understanding as to who you are as an individual, your belief system, and your behaviors. And it allows you, if you don't self-reflect, you can't tell whether or not you have biases in this world. It really stunts your growth in personal growth. And I always throw in business too, because if you're not growing personally, then it's going to impact your business and your
Uh,
relationships.
yes, that is so essential. If you're not growing personally, it'll impact your business and your relationships. Do you want to share a little bit more about that? Because I think that's a nugget, right? I think
Mhm.
sometimes I think the business owners can get so caught up in developing their business that they
Right.
miss that opportunity of that relationship or that miss that opportunity of developing or growing personally. And then when everything falls apart, that's when it's looking around like, what happened?
What
What?
happened?
Yeah,
I thought we had something here. What happened, right?
yeah.
Absolutely. So as a business owner, I talk about cause and effect, right? Being self-aware and being having the ability to change, you have to decide. You have to make a decision. And I
Hmm.
always say deciding not to change, deciding not to make a decision is a decision.
Yeah.
So in business, I'll give an example. Let's say you have a consumer, and that consumer has a complaint.
Hmm.
and that consumer to you in your eyes might not be your ideal consumer, but that consumer patronizes your business weekly, right? So that consumer is bringing you money in. They may be a headache for you, but they have a complaint, and so their complaint that they have, you may not hold value to. You might say, well, it really doesn't matter if I follow up with this because I really don't need this consumer, right? So you do nothing. So you do nothing. You hear the complaint, you blow it off. And this happens all the time in customer service, right? They hear our complaints, they blow it off, and they do nothing. But when we, as a consumer, decide to go somewhere else, and it starts to impact, because we're one person, but as one person, we tell many, we are powerful, right? And I'm thinking and when I think about consumers and customer service, I'm thinking just alone about the light company, right?
Yeah.
We have the light company, we have a gripe, they hear that gripe, they hear gripes all day long. But guess what? When they have another business that's doing the same thing that comes in and you could switch services, what are we going to do? We're going to switch services. So it goes from that one person that you decided not to help, that impact the masses and impacts your whole relationship with the community. And certainly there goes the relationship out the window, right? There
Yeah.
goes financial opportunities that you once had out the window, and you're left with that impact. And that impact could be negative. So I always say that the decisions you make to not make a decision is a decision, understanding that there's a cause and effect, whether you move on it and you don't. So being self-aware, just to wrap up your question, being self-aware that your actions or what you might consider a non-reaction is an action that impacts not only just you, but others in the world.
Yes, I like that you share that. And I think that because I want to share this, some people who feel like if they don't do anything, then nothing's going to shift, nothing's going to happen. But
Right.
something is going to happen, right? Most likely in the direction that you didn't want or didn't bank on. But something will
Mhm.
happen if you do nothing because a decision will be made for you.
Exactly. Exactly. And you may not see it up front because again, it may seem minute, but
Yeah,
it's impactful because
yeah,
that person value of you change, right? Their belief system, their thought process change on how they feel about you. So their emotions are now invested and their behaviors are going to look different. So it's a
mhm.
whole domino effect to the world today.
It is a domino effect, and I want to just bring back to the importance of doing that self work, right, and not getting so caught up in things that you think or hide behind, but activating in that self reflection and becoming self aware and shifting the things that you need to do, because once you do that, that allows you to move beyond things that may be holding you back or things that may be getting in the way. When you become aware and you self reflect, you can really take a look at how you can move forward or what you can do that'll be a better opportunity or a solution for what's happening.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And how do I want to put it? Being self aware can't be the end all.
Hmm.
It
Hmm.
can't just be, okay, so I'm aware of that. So
Right.
that's it. I mean, it can be if that's your decision, right? But
Yeah.
if we're looking to do things differently, then you want to challenge yourself. If you're looking to develop professionally or personally, you want to challenge yourself. And sometimes that resistance kick in, right? We don't really
Yeah.
want to identify or deal with things that we've packed in,
Hmm.
and so it becomes a challenge for us. But really being able to sit in those differences and the level of uncomfortableness and be able to work through that is
Yeah.
powerful.
It is powerful. And I think about when you shared that people generally don't want to feel or be uncomfortable, but it's necessary to get to
It
where we need to
is.
be.
It is. If we don't get uncomfortable, we're missing so much of the world, so much insight. There's so many blind spots or gaps and negative cognitive distortions about who we are, about who people are, perceptions
Yeah.
on life period, that we could be missing the ball on
Yeah.
really developing and growing as a whole.
That is so true. And you think about the example when someone has a miscommunication or a mismessage and they're thinking about something that they believe somebody else is thinking about, and that other person isn't really thinking about that at all, right?
It happens all the time. Emails and texts. I'm one that says, call me, let's have a conversation. Because
Yeah,
we can take an email, we can take a text, and we can create a whole scenario that doesn't exist on the other side.
right.
Yeah,
Definitely. And how
absolutely.
important it is to step into that self awareness, understand that it's a perspective, and we have the opportunity to shift it and also get more information so it isn't one sided as well.
Absolutely. I totally agree.
Definitely. So, Tasha Rose, thank you for your comment. Tasha says, great conversation. Um, Matthew Reynolds says, feeling uncomfortable is part of being human. Let's celebrate that. We get to be
Yes.
uncomfortable. Great
Yes.
conversation.
Yes, absolutely. Being uncomfortable is comfortable. How about that? Let's not call it uncomfortable. It's comfortable. It's different, but it feels good because I know it's good at the other end of that rainbow.
Right.
Right?
Right. And the thing is that we're here to work through things, right?
Yeah.
We our brains think about how we can get to a solution or make things better. And so we have to experience the hard or the uncomfortability so we can figure out what our next steps are to move forward. It's about that growth and development. It's about the learning journey as well.
Exactly. That's what life is about. And once we accept that, we're so dope as humans. Like once we accept that, it's unlimited things. It's unlimited.
Yeah.
Life is limitlessly, really. It's limited when we make it that way, when we are closed minded and we are not able to really live in our truths and begin to discover more, right?
Right.
Begin to
Right.
really, when I say live in our truths, sometimes our old value systems are outdated. Some
Yeah.
things need to shift and change,
Yeah.
right? And you need to be the catalyst to that.
Definitely.
You need to be the catalyst to that. What happened, what worked for the family in 1971, don't age me, it may not be where it's at today.
Right.
you
Definitely.
know? And so we
Yes.
shouldn't be afraid of that.
Definitely. And Matthew is saying yes, yes, yes. It's, and another yes, yes, yes. Dropping that in. I think you're helping us get our whole life together right now, Tangi. Like we're
Listen,
like,
I'm here for it. I'm here for it every
yeah,
day. Every day is a beginning to change something different about who you are as a person and how you show up. How you
definitely.
show up. And
Yeah.
so that's my goal. That's my strive. Every day I want to be better than I
Mhm.
was yesterday.
Definitely. Yeah. And that's our opportunity that we get to step into it at every moment,
Yes.
right? Even
Yeah.
that next second, right? We hold on to things because we hold on to them,
Mm,
right? We choose to
yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
But if we step into the moment where, okay, that happened, I can choose how I want to respond to that. I can
Mhm.
choose what I want to hold on to do. I can choose how I want to be in this moment, right? And I don't want to like negate or overlook the fact that emotions are emotions and we do experience them.
Yeah.
But in moving forward, how do we want to do that? How do we want to step into that?
There's a couple of things that I would suggest. One of them is being having a creative, a supportive environment, right? To be able to process those emotions and whether there are biases or truths that are embarrassing for you, to be able to find a safe space to do that, whether it's a friend or a professional, whether it's just journaling your thoughts and feelings and really living in your truth and stepping into what don't I like about this? I don't like this. Calling it out, calling
Yeah,
that change out, in,
yeah,
in whatever space that you're in. Um, I think another good idea is practice mindfulness,
mhm,
developing that awareness and really sitting in it. What is this that I'm feeling? What is
mhm,
this emotion? And
yeah,
owning that.
Yeah. I think that's so key. And I think it's so key for people to step into that understanding in the now, because we do have adults that were raised in ways that cut off those emotions, that they were told
Yes,
they couldn't feel, they couldn't be, they needed to stop crying, didn't need to do all of that. But we need all of that. And we
we
need to feel.
need all of that. And
Yes.
I'm giving the church finger one moment because I
Yes.
need a moment and it's okay.
Yes. It's
One
okay.
moment to take your moment.
Yeah.
The other I'm thinking about is like seeking feedback, right?
Uh-huh. Hmm.
We tend to believe that we're right about everything,
Mm.
but
Mm.
seek feedback because there's a someone else's lens that see it differently, that will be
Right.
able to provide you some guidance and some understanding and a perspective that you didn't even know existed.
Yeah.
Like, say what? Two heads are better than one.
Yeah.
Get the
Definitely.
feedback and don't
See.
be embarrassed by it. Get the
Yeah.
feedback. Feedback is important because I think without that, you miss a lot. You get tunnel vision, and
Hmm.
it becomes one of those, my way is the highway,
Mm. Yeah.
right? My
Hmm.
way, and it's not. There's so many perspectives in
Right.
life, and understanding that, um, embracing we talked about being being uncomfortable, getting
Right.
comfortable with being uncomfortable. And
Yes.
then, the other one I would just say is practicing self-compassion. Don't beat
Yeah.
yourself up about it.
Yeah. Practicing self compassion. I think about that as stepping into grace for you, giving yourself grace.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And we don't do that a lot. We're so hard on ourselves.
I'm telling you.
Allow yourself to make mistakes. That's why I said every day is a new
Hmm.
beginning, right? It's 365 days in a year. It's
Hmm.
365 chances for change every
Yes.
day. Every
Every.
day is a chance. And if you don't try it, you'll never change,
Hmm.
right? You can't grow. So just understanding that it's going to require you to do some work.
Yeah.
It's not going to fall on your lap.
Yes. Requires the work, right? Um,
Yes.
and and I want to share Tasha Rose earlier our conversation. We've been moving through because it's so good. But Tasha Rose said holding ourselves accountable. And Kaishifa, I hope I pronounced your name correctly. You say, yes, I'm ready for the change. It's time. And I've been learning how not to hold on to things I can't control or change.
Oh
Um,
my goodness. That's so huge.
yeah,
Letting go
yeah,
and being okay with that. That is so huge. Like you said, sitting in your emotions, feeling those emotions,
mhm,
crying, whatever you need to do to release those emotions, let it
yeah.
go. Let it
Let
go
it
so
go.
you can grow. Good.
Yeah,
Good.
Matthew says we need all of that. Like your finger that you put up, like we need it all. Need it all.
Listen.
Yes, I
Listen.
think that when you talk about letting it go, we experience these emotions for a release, right?
Yes.
You think about the tears, they come out. It's about the release in that moment, if you're at that moment. But these emotions are wanting to be worked out. They're coming up
Hmm.
because there's something that we need to pay attention to.
Hmm. And understanding that getting rid of those old belief systems that says that you're weak if you show emotions. We have
Hmm.
to let that go. The strongest person needs the biggest hugs, and I'm one of them. So
Yeah.
we have to be okay. Being okay to not be okay.
Hmm.
Being
Hmm.
okay is not, to not be okay is where that self-awareness is, that what, I realize that my relationships, whether it's personal, business, or financial, is not going the way that I would like. I'm attracting the
Hmm.
same thing that doesn't work for me. I'm not happy about it. So
Hmm.
what do I need to do to change? What am I doing
Hmm.
constantly to bring this to me?
Right. Right. It's seeing. That's the self awareness, to see what your patterns are. To say, hey, we've been here a, a few times. What is the pattern that brought me here? And what am I going to do to shift that? Like, what can I do to do things differently?
Yes. And commit to that. I know we're running out of time, but I want to say commit to that. Once you're self aware and you identify what are the things that you're doing and you start to commit to a change and you set those boundaries, don't make it a one and done. Commit to it. So every day, let every day be a reset for you. I personally practice the beginning of the month as a reset for me. The big June, today's June 1st.
Yes.
I can't bring back May. Today's June 1st. Today's June is
Yes.
all things new. It's restoration. It's new
Yes.
energy. I'm bringing it all in. And then
Right.
every Monday, I'm reminding myself, nope, TNG, this is new for you. So you do what you got to do to reset, reevaluate, and reset your life so that you can live life abundantly.
Love it. That is something, you all. Today is a new day. Today is a new month. Can't do nothing about May, but you can show do something about June 1 and June 2nd. I love
Yes,
it, Tangi.
yes, yes.
Adrian says, I made it. Matthew says, truth. Adrian says, facts. Matthew says, grace is good, right? And we
Woo.
also, and I love it that today is a new day. It's a
Yes,
new month.
yes.
Yeah, a new Monday. And Kashifa says, "Amen, amen." So I think we like. There was so many other questions that I have for you. I want to check in with the audience. If you all have questions and you are on LinkedIn or Facebook, you can post your questions in the comment section and let me know if you have questions that you would like Tangi to answer while she is here, because we have like maybe a minute or two that I can ask your question of her if you have them. But you've given us so much, Tangi, because the thing about my next question really was about overcome obstacles to becoming self-aware. But I think we walked through those.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're good. Just being able to be honest with yourself. I think that if you're living in your truths, um, and being honest with who you are as
Hmm.
a person, then you can begin to self-reflect. It's the beginning process of reflection.
Definitely.
It's the beginning because you have to know who you are, and by doing so you have to reflect on who you are. You really have to sit and think about some of the decisions you made, some of the thoughts that you have, why you responded a certain way. We have all experienced something, a situation in life that we
Hmm.
wish we could turn back,
Right.
that we wish we could redo, or that
Right.
we, now that we are more educated about who we are and things in this world, that we could do, if we could have it again, we would
Hmm.
definitely do it differently, right? And so that's that growth, that uncomfortable internal shift that starts to happen.
Right.
And then if I could just share for me, what
Yeah.
that looks like for me is being challenged in a way. I've been a fighter all my life, right? I've had
Hmm.
to show up for my family as a fighter and be a fighter all my life. And the
Yeah.
things that happen that I would normally react negatively, what
Yeah.
I don't feel that anymore.
Yeah.
So
I
when
love
that
that.
shift started to occur, I'm like, oh, instead of being mad, I'm praying for him. Oh, wow, that was really big of me. So if you are experiencing life and you're thinking about how you responded and it's different from the
Yeah.
way you normally would respond,
Yeah.
honey, clap. That's that grace. Allow yourself that grace of growth because it
Right.
just happened for you.
Right. I love that. I have moments and I think about that when I've done things different, right? And I'll be
Honey.
thinking about, oh, back then that would have been a different
Oh,
response.
child.
That's growth.
Yes. Yes.
Love it. So Adrian says we must be accountable for our choices and move forward. Learning to let things go is key and critical. Critical, very critical.
Absolutely.
Yes. And I love that you shared that, because when we step into that next phase of growth, right? We're able to let things go more easily and
Absolutely.
giving ourselves grace, and it's the practice of that, right? And I think that's the grace and understanding that it takes practice for us along our journey to be where we are.
It does. And if you stay consistent with that, you don't even know that you're doing it. It's just happening. It's happening naturally. It's a natural thing. And then once you reflect and you look back and be like, wow, that's that part where you want to give yourself a clap on a pat on the back.
Yes.
Job well done.
Well, job well done. And
Yeah.
so I want to say I'm sharing your link here for the It's Time to Move Beyond Barriers virtual summit. You are worthy.live/Tangi 23. And you said HTTPS before, as it's like fully stated here and shown here on the screen. So if you all want to join us and get updates via email about the summit, if you want to join VIP where you'll get the workbook and you can come back and listen to all of the speakers and and take notes on what they've shared in detail so you can work through it. This is also help with the self-reflection, you all, is to get that.
Yes, let's start now. What better day to start?
Yes, get that workbook. Get it today so you can grab it and work through some of these things. But also, I want to share with you that uh, we are also going to be going deep on this on June 28th through the 30th. For the You Are Worthy Summit. And
Yes.
Tangi is going to be there leading us through the whole summit throughout the time and dropping these nuggets that you've already shared and being able to help people to really claim their worth and step into their boldness and who they're here to be. Do you want to share a little bit about that, Tangi, and being at the summit?
Absolutely. I've been sharing. First of all, thank you. I am honored to be the MC of this event. I am honored. I've been reaching out to all my Atlanta folks saying, listen, you need to attend. So if I have not slid in your DM or you have not slid in mine, I need you to attend this event for several reasons. And it's not even about me, it's about you and understanding your worth and investing in yourself because the work is never done. The work on you, the work on self is never done. There's always a nugget, 2 or 3 that you would be able to take from others around you. And sometimes we just need that big energy to reset. So I look forward to the summit. And I thank you for having me and all the wonderful speakers.
Thank you. I thank you for being there. It's going to be an amazing summit. I mean, we've had it for 2 years previously. We've had this summit and we've been virtual with it. And in that virtual space, people have talked about the transformation that has happened. So imagine you all when we're in the room together, when we're doing this work, when we're face to face and you're feeling each other's energy and leveling up, how impactful that is going to be.
I'm getting excited. I feel it all through. Listen, I love to see transformation. If you are ready for transformation, you need to be at this event.
Definitely.
You need to be at this event. You see my pictures, you see my photos, you read my comments. I am always doing it and doing it big. This is no exception.
Yes. Definitely. So you all join us at the You Are Worthy Summit by going to use that HTTPS:/2 and 3 W's, youareworthy.live/Tangi. Make sure you get your ticket, get in the room, be a part of this experience because it is life changing. It's going to change your life and help you create the transformation that you're here to create as well.
I can't wait.
Can't wait. So thank you so much, Tangi. Thank you for joining us, being a part of this summit, being a part of our conversation, dropping your nuggets today. I'm excited, and I'm excited to be with you at the You Are Worthy Summit in June as well.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for everyone that popped on and took a moment to choose yourself tonight in this half an hour interview. I appreciate it. I love you all and continue to invest in yourselves.
Definitely, definitely. And I am going to say thank you to Tangi. It's been amazing. So appreciate you and being a part of this conversation. We are now going to be inviting our next speaker up. So I want to invite you all to stay with us because we're continuing this conversation. We're going to be on this evening for another hour and a half, interviewing our speakers that are joining us to talk about ways you can move beyond barriers in life and business. And we want to invite you to continue to be a part. If you need to watch the replay, make sure you're watching. If you're on watching the replay, let us know. And if you're here live, thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate your comments. Our speakers appreciate your comments. We're so grateful that you are here and that you are with us. I do want to take a moment to introduce our next speaker, who is absolutely dynamic in what she does and how she shows up in the world as well. So I'm going to introduce to you Tamara Davis Mitchell, who is Tamara Mitchell Davis. Tamara Mitchell Davis. Thank you so much. My apologies about that. But Tamara Mitchell Davis is a 10 times best-selling and award-winning author and CEO of TM Davis Enterprises LLC. She holds an MBA and she is a business administrator. She has a business administration certification from the state of Connecticut. She has published works that include hashtag Go Getter, strategies for overcoming challenges, goodbye fear, hello destiny, dream your plan your dream, 7 steps to manifesting success, blessed, not broken, love, business, and marriage. And she's the co-author of Dear Mama. She's the founder of Pen to Profit, Write and Publish and Build Community on Facebook. She's also the host of the annual Pen to Profit Conference for authors, speakers, and coaches, and the creator of and host of the CEO Wife Experience podcast. Tamara has received numerous awards, including 100 Women of Color for Leadership and Community Service, Orator of the Year, Women of Elevation Triumphant Author. She's received I Am Her International Women on the Rise and CEO of the Year. She's a phenomenal woman in business. Right. And she also received the Phenomenal Woman in Business Award. And she's done media appearances. She's an active member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated and resides in Connecticut with her husband and her children. Help me welcome Tamara Mitchell Davis. It is so good to see you. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much, Trina. I appreciate it. Thanks for the opportunity.
I appreciate you, and I'm excited to chat with you today because, you do a lot of work of helping authors create their work that they can share to get their story out. And when we're thinking about moving beyond barriers, there are barriers that can get in the way of our process, in a way of our business, in a way of our projects. What are some barriers that you see come up for business owners and people who are here to share their story that you can share with us now? What are some things that you've seen get in people's way?
Yeah, so great question. And two automatically came to the top of my head, the top of my mind. And so the first that came to mind is work life balance, the barriers that come with trying to balance it all, trying to show up at home, show up in work, show up in the business, and the demands of it all, and just showing up as your authentic self in the spaces and places. And the other is the imposter syndrome, because it has, it has risen its head here and there, with women that I've worked with and even have shown up in some ventures of my own. And this can really stop and prevent us from moving forward to really lean more into the things that we feel we're called to do, because we're operating with that self-doubt, feeling like we're an imposter, doubting our abilities, not really seeing our accomplishments as what they are, but just looking at the negative of it all, and just being afraid to really show up. So when you asked that question, those were the top that came up for me, because as women, when you're a wife, I'm a wife, a mom, a career business owner, like wearing all the hats, you're trying to manage and juggle everything and try and keep all the balls up in the air. And so those two initially can be barriers to prevent that.
Mm-hmm. They can be barriers. And how can one shift that? When you think about where you're trying to do all the things, you're juggling all the hats, you have, not much time in a day. How can one shift that and and get to the place of understanding what their journey and their story is?
So I'm going to speak from my own personal experience as well as some of the women that I've worked with. A
Mm-hmm.
way to shift some of the weight of it, I would suggest to be around or find a community, be around like-minded women or like-interested women on the same path, similar journey, who gets it, right? You want to find safe space where you can be open to share, show up as your, like I said before, your authentic self, without feeling the pressures of being judged, and just really being okay, sharing your experiences and allowing the space for connection, for support, for accountability. And so when you are in spaces like this, it can definitely enhance your visibility. It can definitely support you, put you on a path of success, and even support you while you're on the path of success, because support, connections, community, all of that does matter. And so that's just one way. When you're also sharing your story, and storytelling is my thing. It does inspire others, and so the shifting of the narrative is, yes, this is what I've experienced, or it doesn't always have to be something that you've experienced or something you overcame, but your story is the connection piece, and so it can inspire others. It makes the situation, the circumstance, and even the accomplishments be that much more relatable. And so it is through storytelling that you can help to shift and move beyond the barriers.
Hmm. You talked about finding a safe space, being around people who can support you, creating a story that will allow you to shift into something different. And I think it's something key about creating a story that can shift into something different. Can you talk a little bit about the importance of that, and why someone should do that, using their story
Yeah.
as their.
So when you see, I get so excited when we get to storytelling because, well, not only is storytelling that connection point for us as humans, but when you even get to the business side of things, you always hear that people do business with those they know, they like, they trust. Well, how
Yeah.
can someone get to know you, like you, or trust you until they learn about you? And so storytelling is a way for them to trust you. It's a way for you to build connections. It's a way for you to have that even sometimes reciprocity of collaborations, of community, of connection, of accomplishments, of the journey that you're on, finding those spaces and places to do that. Storytelling is a way. Also, another way I want to point out is when we get to the business side of things and we're telling our stories and making those connections, being able to really hone in on some of the qualities and the benefits that separate us from others. Now, this is going back to the business side of things, because we hear about competitors and how are we showing up in our business and who's our target audience and all of that. So, what is your UVP? What is your unique value proposition? And so, storytelling can allow you to communicate by way of storytelling to showcase your unique value proposition. What separates you from others? What's the connection point? How you can leverage storytelling to paint the picture, to create the connection, to really propel you into your next. And you get to decide what that is.
Yeah, I love that. So beautiful. I'm like sitting here, like I can listen to what you're sharing all day. Uh, definitely, it's so spot on. And we get to step in that. And Adrian says yes. Tandy says yes. Your story is the connection piece. You talked about it as being your unique value proposition, right? Uh, your story is unique to you.
Mhm.
And when you share it and you tell it does position you in the marketplace, right? Because we each have our own individual journeys, our own individual process and learnings from what we experience in life, and being able to share that, if you're a business owner specifically, allows you to really help your client, as you mentioned, people get to know a little bit more about you, position you in a way where you're connecting your gifts and your talents, what's important to you, to the action and what you're providing in the marketplace as far as your offer, and be able to move that forward. I absolutely love
Yeah.
that.
And I mean, you pointed out several times the connection. That's what
Yeah.
it is. It's the connection. Storytelling is a way for that emotional connection to happen. Because when you're writing the story, sharing the story, and you have the reader who's able to connect with the story, it makes it that much more believable, relatable, and also inspiring. Like a story can motivate someone to do something. A story can change someone's perspective. A story can really empower people to move into that next. And you can do that just by writing and helping to shift that for someone.
Definitely. You know, the one of the reasons why I went and got my MFA in creative writing, because I understood that transformation and true transformation happens when we share and tell stories, when we listen to them, we're experiencing them, and we're engaging with them. We're impacted by them in such a way that it transforms our thoughts, our ways of being, maybe something that we activate. And it's the people who tell these stories that are crafting that experience for those who are readers, for those who are listeners, for those who are watchers of the film. uh, whatever has been put into this process by way of written word, written text.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Okay. We could talk about something else, but I know that's taking us into some moments that you may be sharing at the You Are Worthy Summit that's coming
Yeah,
up
I
in.
mean, it all goes back to the connection. And I always, when I meet with my clients, I always empower them to understand the power they have in the pen, or the power they have with the keyboard. Like,
Yeah,
yes, it can be daunting at times, oh, I need to write this book, and it seems like a huge task.
yeah,
But once you just start going at it, step by step, piece by piece, then you'll be surprised how much you can get done. And so,
yeah,
on the other side, because similar to what Tangi said with transformation, I'm a transformation person as well. I love to watch the transformation happen, from working with someone who has never written a book to getting on the other side of,
yeah,
now you're published, now you're building authority, now you're creating a business, now you're marketing and selling what you've created. Is definitely a transformative process. And
yeah,
during the transformation, yes, the story is for the reader, but it's also for the writer, because in the process of it all, there's confidence that you gain, there's visibility, there's just additional ideas and opportunities that opened up just
yeah.
because you decided to write and share your story. And so, I always say the book is a gift that keeps on giving. Storytelling is a way to make that connection.
Definitely, definitely. And Adrian says, I'm soaking this all up. And Tanji says, this exclamation point, two times, sorry, two times. Bring it in. So I want to ask you this question because I'm wondering if you can share with us 3 strategies that people can use to better position themselves when you're thinking about business, when you're thinking about their marketplace, their niche. How can they better position themselves? If you can share 3 strategies, we would love to hear it.
Yeah, so 3 strategies. One I mentioned before, I think it's still applicable, is the UVP, unique value proposition. So really writing about or showcasing how you stand apart from the competitor, or how you stand apart from the marketplace, or how what you are doing is different, right? And so you are setting yourself apart. So I think it's the opportunity to really highlight the unique value proposition of what it is that you're sharing. The other is the authenticity of writing. So you being true, you being genuine, you sharing your experiences, and allowing that to really come through the words. Like, you want to paint the picture, you want to have your reader right there with you, as if they are there at that particular time as well. And so be genuine, be true to yourself, highlight the experiences that you've encountered along the way, and allow that authenticity to resonate with your audience. And then the third, which we've said several times, which I think is key and it's also applicable to You Are Worthy, is the connection piece. And
Yeah,
so, storytelling, the connection, being in person at a conference is another way to have that connection, to find that community, to show up in spaces and places with others who are on similar paths. I'm not going to say same, but similar paths,
Right.
as you are. And so being able to connect with others, being able to lean in and network and have those opportunities to do that is just a beautiful experience.
Definitely, and it's such important. It's such an important. I just love what you shared and how you walk that out. And I think what's coming up for me is that we're continually brought back to the importance of that connection, um, and what the writing and the sharing of your story brings about within that, and how important that is. And so I like, remember when people say, "I can't stress this enough." That's what I'm
Mhm.
hearing in this conversation about how important that is. And that's what we really want to do with our audience, right?
Yes.
Uh, when we're thinking about business, building a business, stepping into that, is that we really want to create connection with our audience.
Yeah.
The know, like, and trust factor, what you shared earlier, um, is what we really want to step into. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And storytelling can allow you to do that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes, definitely, definitely. That is so spot on. I just want to share this. I'm going to grab this. I'm like, yeah, I want to check in with the audience. Do you all have any questions? You can post them here. If you do, you can post them via Facebook or LinkedIn in the chat. Let us know if you have any questions for Tamara. What you've been sharing has been so spot on. And I am going to share this in the comment section as well, as we see if anyone has any questions that they want to ask or comments to make. That if you want to be sure to get the replays, you can make sure you go of the Move Beyond Barrier Summit, and have this for the lifetime, and also get the workbook to work through what Tamara has been sharing and what Tangi has been sharing and what the previous speakers have been sharing. You can go to youareworthy.live/Tamara23. Make sure you have the HTTPS colon and two slashes there as well. Nadine says great tips. So thank you,
Ding,
Nadine,
ding.
for your comment. You all let us know how this is impacting you. Let us know if you have questions, because Tamara is here for just a few more minutes, and we could get your questions in if you have them while she's here. So be sure that you go and register so you can get the email updates, but also if you want the VIP pass, you can use the URL that I'm sharing here to get the VIP pass for the summit, to be able to have lifetime recording, or access to the recordings, and also the workbook that's coming along with the Move Beyond Barrier Summit. And Adrian says, this is great information. Thank you, Adrian. Thank you for your share. You all, you are fabulous. You're in here blowing up these comments. I'm
Yeah.
looking here. It's like over 20 comments on the Facebook section alone. So I know Tangi and Tamara has been like just putting it out there. People are like, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely love it.
Yeah. And
Beautiful.
it's a beautiful thing to be in a room. I just want to stress that too. Like I love the opportunity to be in the room. Right. So it's one thing when you're on Zoom, you're on StreamYard. It's another when you're, listening to an audio, but it is a different feeling, a different vibe, and just a different energy when you are in the room. When you can sit at the table, when you could lean or glean from others and really create those connections and networks. Because we're on Zoom now, but I can read the comments and, ask questions and provide answers and so on and so forth. But it's just another feeling or vibe, energy or opportunity, or, when you can really be in the room, in the building, and get support as you need it in real time. So
Mhm.
that's the connection piece.
That's the connection piece. Adrian says yes, and also thank you so much. Yes, and that's what we're looking to cultivate at our June summit coming up. That we're doing in person is the opportunity for you to experience something deeper than this. This is good. I know you people are getting like value and impact and feeling the energy. Yet we are stepping into transformation in the in-person summit that's taking place in June, where we're going to be face to face helping you work through some of the things that you have brought up, Tamara, some of the things that Tangi has brought up earlier, that is going to help you totally transform the trajectory of your life. And we're here talking about move beyond barriers. Yeah, at the You Are Worthy Summit, it's going to be claiming your worth, stepping into a bolder version of yourself, and activating your great work. We're going to be giving you tips and tools to do just that
in real time.
In real time. I love it. In real time. Yes. So I'm going to share this with everybody because you can join us at the You Are Worthy Summit that's taking place in June by going to https, yes, colon, 2 slashes, 3 W's, youareworthy.live/Tamara. Make sure you join us there in June. It's going to be it's taking place June 28th through the 30th. We're going to be in Atlanta at the Le Meridian in Atlanta Perimeter Center. And so we want to invite you to join us in the room in person. And we're going to be giving you some impactful things that you'll be able to implement right away in life, in business, and relationships. You heard from Tangi earlier, who is a counselor. Tamara is a Penta Prophet. Best-selling author, right, and CEO. So it's going to be business and wealth conversations happening, as well as deepening those relationships. And so it's going to be a fabulous time and an opportunity to really to claim your worth and step into a bolder version of yourself. Did you want to share anything more about that, Tamara?
I think I always say I think and then I start talking. So yes, I just want to stress the fact that I am excited myself and looking forward to being in the room. So yes, I'll be there as a speaker. However, the importance of connections, the importance of building a network is just instrumental. It is key to success. It is key for success. And so you definitely want to explore opportunities where you can be in spaces and places where you can be supported, where you can be connected, where you can learn, where you have the opportunity to grow, and of course, be transformed. So yes, grab your ticket, show up, be in the building. I'll be there and looking forward to being there with the other speakers. And again, Trina, I just want to say thank you for the opportunity and looking forward to seeing you in Atlanta in person in a few weeks. So I'm excited and thank you.
Thank you. I'm so excited. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being on, Tamara. It is so beautiful to see you. Tangi says, I can't wait for this wonderful event. Get in the room. Those of you who are still needing to get your ticket, like get it today, get it ASAP, get in the room. Make sure you are there, because if you're wanting to step and move beyond barriers, if you're wanting to calm or silence your inner critic, if you wanting to silence the other critics that have been coming at you and really step into your worth, claim it, and move boldly into the future that you're here to activate, into the future that you're here to create, the summit will help you do that.
Yeah.
We have some fabulous speakers. If you just heard from Tamara, you've heard from Tangi. If you were here on day 2 and day 1, hearing from the speakers from Matthew, who's joined us, from Catherine, from Arthur, who joined us, you know that this information, just being and just hearing what the previous speakers have shared with you, changed you in this moment. Think about, just imagine how much support you're going to get, how much guidance you're going to get in the room in June 28th through the 30th, and to be able to experience that. And I know Rabia was our first speaker on day 1 as well, and she dropped so many nuggets in the space, and she was moving with those nuggets, and I'm just sitting there like, oh my goodness, just think about that and how it's going to help you to activate what you're here to do, claim it, and move forward in it. And so Adrian says, this is so awesome. I'm excited to support you guys. Thank you, Adrian. We look forward to seeing you there at the summit and in June. So we are looking forward for you to join us there because it's transformational. Like, I feel this in my spirit. I feel it in my heart. We're talking here. Tangi was saying earlier, I feel the energy. Tamara, you're saying, I feel the energy. I feel the energy just here. And so we're here in this space, but it's going to be even more heightened energy to help you get to where you need to be.
Yeah, I think that the energy, just even in the words, you are worthy.
Mm-hmm.
So Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
powerful.
Powerful, powerful.
Mhm.
You are worthy. Thank you so much, Tamara. Thank you
Yeah,
for being here, and thank you
thank you.
for joining us today and sharing your message with us. So appreciate you.
Thank you, Trina.
Thank you. So you all make sure you get your summit tickets. You can go to youareworthy.live/Tamara. You will need the previous HTTPS, okay, to make sure you get there. So make sure you do that. We are here. I'm super excited. I'm like needing to take in the breath because I'm so excited about this. Like my energy is like getting ready to pop off the charts. So I'm working to navigate this energy and give this to you in a way that is going to help you get to where you need to be. And I love your comment, Adrian, where you says, "Yes, we are created for a purpose. We definitely are, and that purpose has power." And when we understand what our purpose is, and we're taking consistent action to activate that purpose, and we're connecting with the communities in which we're here to connect with and here to serve, there's a ripple effect. There's an impact that we're able to step into that helps benefit not only us, but the community that we are surrounded by, to benefit the humanity, to make the shifts and changes that we need in the world. And I think about that when I think about purpose, and when we step into that and when we own it and when we claim it, we not only change our own lives, but we change the lives of others around us. It goes out. It goes out. And if you can see that, feel that, and understand it, you know how important and powerful that is. And that's what we're looking to help you do at the You Are Worthy Summit. And so we want to invite you to join us. And Adrian says, yes, that part, yes, that part. And I so appreciate you saying what you shared, Adrian, in the comment section, because that is the goal, that is the work, that's what we're working towards, for everybody to understand what that is for them and to claim it and to step into it and stop hiding, right? Or being worried about imposter syndrome or listening to your inner critic so much so that you're crippled from taking action and creating and activating your powerful purpose in the moment. We have this life to live that we know of right now. And we have something to do with this life that we know of right now. And this is our opportunity to do that. And so that is why we're hosting the You Are Worthy Summit, so we can help people step into that. And Adrian, you said we must walk in that purpose. Yes. Yes. Amen. That is our charge. That is what we're here for. That is why we're hosting the You Are Worthy Summit. So thank you so much for that. Yes. And I'm so excited about this and sort of excited about what we're bringing to you now and what we're sharing with you. We've been on here live for the past, today is day 3. And if you haven't seen day 1, 2, make sure you go back and watch day 1 and 2. It's up on Facebook. So wherever you are now watching it via Facebook, you can watch it there. Wherever you're now watching it on LinkedIn, there's a day 1 and 2. Go back and watch those day 1 and 2 shares and what our speakers are sharing, because you're going to get it. We're giving you a little bit of a glimpse of what we're going to be going into. And we know that it's as powerful right now in these like 20 minutes that we're walking through these nuggets. But we're going to be doing like deep work, workshop work to get you to where you need to be. So it's not going to be you second guessing or wondering or feeling like you don't have support, because you are going to have support there in the room, and you're going to have guidance there, and you're going to have a community to be able to step into your powerful purpose and activate that so you can make the impact that you're here to make, so you can step into a bolder version of yourself, be who you are here to be, claim that space, and move forward into it. That's what we're here for, right? And we're here to do it within community. Absolutely, absolutely love it. And so you all, thank you, and thank you for that, Adrian. So appreciate you. Adrian says, "Amen, amen, amen." And so what I want to do next is I want to invite our next speaker up. I'm super excited to be inviting up Charlisa Shelton as our next speaker. So give me one moment, because I'm doing all the things right now. Maybe not all the things, but I'm doing the things right now, you all. And I have some multiple screens coming here, and I want to be able to share Charlisa's information with you. I'm super excited to be introducing Charlisa to you. Charlisa is a human resources expert. Charlisa owns her own business, and she is the founder and CEO of Biz Biz Assist US LLC. And Charlisa's most important function is providing value and expertise in the areas of business support, operations, human resources, project management, documentation, and data document management and market research. And after spending a decade working in human resources and project management for multi-billion-dollar companies, Charlisa knows that what truly drives conversations, growth, and an excellent team. She understands that she's practiced that for a few of these organizations. And Charlisa was part of a team that hired over 10,000 employees in less than 6 months. Can you imagine that whirlwind in that moment? And through the years of solidifying her business, Biz Assist LLC, as the gold standard of business support to small and large companies, Charlisa has collaborated with clients in development and implementation of key initiatives to assure proper alignment with key business goals, operations management, recruiting, training, systems, implementation, performance management, and total reward systems. She has extensive experience in this, you all, and also with diversity, equity, and inclusion, and helping organizations in that work. So I want to welcome Charlisa to the stage. Welcome, Charlisa. It is so good to see you. I'm super excited about our conversation. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I mean, I sound so great on paper, right?
You are
Just
amazing.
like a whole bunch of stuff going on there, right?
I know. Yes.
How
Yes.
is everyone? Hope everyone is doing well.
Definitely. Everybody, how you doing? You can let Charlisa know how you're doing in the comment section. You can let us know what's going on. I'll shout you out when you do that. I'm well. I'm so excited to be on with you today and to talk with
Thank
you,
you.
because a lot of times, and I want to talk about this too, because we're talking a little bit about this, is business, right? We've been
Yeah.
talking about that as well, life, business, relationships. And you do a lot of work with systems management, working with entrepreneurs for small organizations and large. What are some barriers that you've seen business owners face when they're trying to build a business?
You know what? That's a good question. So, depending on where people are, right? Depending on if we're talking about small businesses, going in as a business manager with small businesses, normally what I see, obviously, the main thing is financial constraints, right? So, limited financial resources, we all know can hinder business growth. And so, a lot of it is definitely dealing with their finances. And obviously there are ways that you can deal with that, right? I tell especially smaller companies, depending on what it is that you're doing, if you don't need a lot of expensive tools and equipment, right? Crowdfund, reach out to your network, right? And don't expect people to give you something for nothing. I know that might not be popular, but I think a lot of people, when they approach their network, they kind of approach it with a hat in hand um, type philosophy. Imagine if you go to someone and you say, "Hey, would you like to invest in my business?" And it could be a small investment, but that is a great way to go about doing things. Um, Another thing that I have someone knocking on my door. I'm so sorry. Can I
I
just give me 1 second?
Sure. Definitely. And while Charlisa is stepping into taking care of the knock at the door, I think that it is so essential that she's sharing about the business and what we are facing. The funding opportunity and cash flow, you all, is something that all small business owners need to get worked out, and step into something different with that, because that is a barrier that comes up. That is something that a lot of business owners face. And you think about, even in COVID, during these times of business shifting and things happening differently than what was expected, and even some folks stepping into business ownership, um, not by choice, but by necessity, because of the shifts and changes that were happening, a year or 2 or 3 years ago. It is something that has been what we've been experiencing and what has come up. But those are the barriers that business owners have faced, and being able to fund that and move into that, and work through that is important. So, Charlize, do you want to continue to share what you were sharing? Because I do have another question for you, but I want you to finish what you were sharing about this.
Sure.
My initial question.
Sure. And so you asked me, the question was, give me the question again. I'm sorry.
The thing, barriers that business owners face.
Okay. I do. Well, so let me just touch on operational challenges. Because I think that sometimes when we're going into business, we have an idea of what it is that we want to accomplish, right? What do you want to do as a business? You want to do this, 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 this. And sometimes we don't have the staff, and we don't have the bandwidth, right? So the operational challenges of that is a huge thing, right? And a lot of that, I think, can be streamlined with the business manager. Obviously, I have to plug that. It's mandatory that I say that.
Yeah.
Or just like breaking down like the things that you're attempting to do, and make sure you're taking small bites of it instead of like being crazy and going for the whole thing.
Mhm. Definitely. Thank you for sharing that with me. And I think it's such important. We talked about, like, on day two, day one, small bites, take it in small steps. Because
Mhm.
Matthew had talked a little bit about that, and how important that is. And when you think about the operations plan, uh, being a business owner, sometimes we start off trying to do all the things because that's what we have, the finances for. But at
Right.
some point, you need to focus on generating the income, and then bringing in someone, maybe part time or as a contractor, who can handle small things for you. So you're not doing all the
Mhm.
things. But you can start to focus on things that are going to help you grow, right? And then there's someone who can manage different assets of the business, different parts of it that need to happen, which is so essential. So, like I'm thinking about all these things, because we can talk about all of what that is and what that looks like. But to keep a business going and operating, there also needs to be some consistency, or a place of getting to a consistent way of being and doing things. That's also essential. So I'm wondering if you could talk a little bit about that, or find a way to help me, like in this moment, bridge the two, because I know that we can have all of these things in place, our operations, our business manager, yet we need to create a process that's going to be consistent for the work that we're looking to put out.
Yeah. So as far as staying consistent, I think the main thing is to set clear goals.
Mhm.
Please set clear goals, right? Start by, creating your specific goals. Make a list. I'm very big on vision boards. Actually, just earlier this year, I did a whole vision board party, which was really cool. I created a book and everything, right? So it's like, make sure that you're doing, again, break it down, smaller, manageable task,
Mhm.
and because that'll help you stay focused and consistent in your efforts, right?
Mhm.
Um, Create a routine and stick to it, which is the
Mhm.
hardest part, right? Because I think every year going through that whole thing, talking about the vision board and the setting clear goals, I think that we all in the beginning of the year, usually, or at some point in our life, some type of milestone, we will come up with these goals, and it will be grandiose, and we're all in, and it's going to happen. And we never really get to the point where we're creating the actual routine and sticking to it. So I think that's a huge part. Identify your activities and habits that contribute to your goals, and incorporate them into your daily or weekly routine. If you have a smartwatch, or like Alexa or Google, like my stuff goes off all day long, right? Even if it's like, if I'll do it for 15 minutes, just to okay, I want to do this at this time, and then I just set that so that it will just give me a reminder. After a while, you won't need the reminder, but like in the beginning, I think that's just a good way to set that up, and then make sure you're tracking your progress and celebrating. Um, so let me say this, because I think that when I say I've actually said that I celebrate my milestones, and I got a little bit of pushback, right? And it was just like, if it were easy to maintain a routine and to stick to the goals, then everybody would do it. It's not easy. It's just not easy, right? And so I do make a habit of, and I'm not embarrassed about it, of setting, rewarding myself, doing a little self-care or something when I accomplish something that's important to my own goals. And it could be a personal goal, or it could be a business goal. I make sure that I do give myself a pat on the back, because it's not an easy thing to stay consistent. So like those are things that I follow.
Right. And I think we get to be our biggest cheerleaders, right? Our own
Yes.
biggest cheerleaders. And I think that's a part of knowing you are worthy and claiming your worth and stepping into that, right?
Hmm.
Celebrating your wins and celebrating you because you are worthy. And you talked about the consistency and key, and the consistency in generating and activities, right? And I think about that when we're talking about revenue and bringing in cash flow. It's the consistency in that as well, right? And deciding, when you talk about creating habits, what in your day that you need to make sure that you're focusing on creating that consistency in the generating activities. And I'm talking about revenue. How can you place that in your day on an everyday basis, that you're focusing that, or maybe the first hour or two or three or even four of your day, that's what you're doing, because that gives you an opportunity to waterfall that into your business, waterfall what you need into growth of your business and life, and moving forward with that. So I think that's so spot on. So thank you for sharing that. And Adrian says that, I don't. Did you want to respond to that before I move to the next? And
To be honest with you, I didn't catch your question.
I didn't have a question, just a
Oh, okay.
comment.
Oh, just I was like, do you have a question? No, no, no. I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree with what you said. Yes.
Awesome. Oh, absolutely. I love it. So Adrian says it is important also to be able to receive nuggets and valuable information to help you to be successful by someone who has a successful business.
Absolutely. Um, I will. It's so funny that you say that, and I'm going to give my mentor kudos. So I actually met you, Trina, through Laditra White, who is my mentor, right? And like I made a decision to like get into government contracting in like 2015. I saw her, I made it a goal, I met her. She literally took me under her wing and was just and just fed me. And it's like in so like I do that myself. Like I am not ashamed. I am not afraid to share information. I think that that is something that holds us back a lot when when we're afraid to like, what's for me is for me and what's for you is for you. So even if I teach you everything that I know, you're not going to deliver it the same way that I deliver it. And so that's where the difference is. And I definitely wish people would understand that.
Definitely, definitely. And Adrian says, to take someone from advice for someone who is willing to share information and not keep it all to themselves. And I think that is like we're about to talk about it. I think that is understandably necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Um, do have people who think that that information that they have is like all for them or what they originated. And some things are things that people originate, and some things are things that just everybody knows, right? As
Yeah.
well.
Yes.
I had a situation when I was young. And I don't know, I was starting my first business. It was like in my 20s, early 20s. And I was in modeling, and I had worked under a woman who had her own modeling agency.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking at different agency models for like marketing artists, right? And there's different models for marketing an artist, right? From
Mm-hmm.
modeling agency to artist agency to speakers, to comedians. There are different aspects of that and what that looks like, and being a manager versus an agent versus having an agency. But I had talked to her, she had a school, and I asked her if I could shadow her and do an informational interview. And she came back to me and said that her husband is a lawyer and she can't talk to me because that's proprietary information. Right? It was really like stifling kind of way of thinking and
Yeah.
being. And I think about those moments when people have that, they're not able to expand within a community or grow within a community. What ends up happening is their business and their ideas dies with them
Mm-hmm.
because they
Absolutely.
don't pass it along to anybody else.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that is very true. Very
And
true.
how important it is for us to step into that way of sharing and being and sharing that knowledge. We're not here to keep it to ourselves or to try to hide it.
Absolutely. And I love that. I love the whole platform, the whole idea of it, right? Just what it
Mhm.
says from the beginning. You are worthy. Like that's amazing. Off the top, you know that you're going to be around supportive people and people who because it all starts with from within, right? So you want
Yeah.
to be around people who love themselves, who are in love with themselves,
Mhm.
and that's a great way. It's a great platform.
Hmm. Definitely. And I want to share this that we're still getting comments. Thank you, Adrian, so much for your comments. You're saying that, yes, celebrating is essential. Celebrating helps you stay motivated to reach your goals. As a people, we need to break that cycle so that we can move forward successfully together, meaning breaking the
Absolutely.
cycle of trying to keep information
Yes.
like holding on to it tightly, right? We are the only race that typically doesn't stick together for success. How important it is for us to do that in ways that are genuine, to do that in ways that are supportive,
Yes.
to do that in ways that are going to help lead someone to their next. Yeah.
Yes.
Did you want to share anything more about that? I can talk about that, but I will be
No, no,
back to
no.
ask questions.
It's no. It's again, like again, I absolutely agree with you. I think that it's powerful to see a whole group of people coming in and sharing that and wanting people to learn as much as possible in the space of a couple of days, right? So absolutely, I'm very excited about this.
Awesome. Thank you. And do you have three things that you would love to share with our audience members, those who are tuning in with us, about strategies that they can use? Any other nuggets you want to share where they can stay consistent and keep moving forward in business?
Well, again, I think those are pretty much are my nuggets, right? You want to always make sure that you set your goals, that you make sure that you follow through, and you celebrate yourself. I mean, those are the things that I live by.
Yeah,
That those are important,
absolutely.
and be
Absolutely.
true, and keep your integrity, please.
Yeah.
Integrity is a huge thing today that is missing in a lot of areas.
Mhm.
Um you know i i had a, I know someone who that making lots of money, everything's great, and but some shortcuts happening, and it was like, and people started to notice, and in my whole thing was you don't want to tie yourself to, you don't want to be in a negative space. You don't want to do negative stuff. Um, maintain your integrity, because at the end of the day, people will recognize that you don't have integrity and it will all go away. So that's important
Hmm.
to
Definitely
me.
maintain the integrity. Love
Yes.
it. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Charlisa. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your share. Thank you for what you have gone deep on. And I want to encourage people that I'll share this with you from for Charlisa, that if you are wanting to make sure you have the replays of what we shared today for their lifetime. You can go, and I say this. Adrian says, "Amen." Maintain integrity. Integrity, very important for sure. Thank you so much for that, Adrian. So you can visit and join and register for the Move Beyond Barriers virtual summit, where we're spending time here. You can visit that by going to this URL link and making sure you register for what we've been sharing with you now. And know that we'll be offering a VIP pass where you can get the workbook from what everybody has been sharing tonight thus far, and from day one and day two, and be able to engage in making some shifts and changes in your now. So we do want to invite you to that and to grab that and to register by going to the You Are Worthy url.live/Charlisa23. And we've been talking about as well the You Are Worthy Summit. And Charlisa talked about, how important as well it is to be in the room. The summit is key and critical for thinking about and processing the kind of business you want to activate, the kind of business you want to move forward, what you want to lead through in this time and space. And Charlize is going to be there talking about business as well. And so we want to invite you all to join us at the You Are Worthy Summit. And I'll share with you how you can join us at the You Are Worthy Summit if you are a part of Charlisa's community and network. You can go and grab this URL link, which is the HTTPS. You need to have that in front with the colon, and youareworthy.live/Charlisa. So know that you can join us at the You Are Worthy Summit in person, June 28th through the 30th, so that you can step into your worth and know you're worthy and move that forward. Anything
Absolutely.
else you wanted to share about that,
No,
Charlisa?
I'm excited. I can't wait to see everyone, and I hope that you guys come out and learn from all of these beautiful people, and yeah, I'll see you everyone there.
Definitely. We'll see you there. Thank you so much,
Thank
Charliza.
you.
Thank you for being here. You all, thank you for listening to Charliza's share. Make sure you be in the room and you join us at the summit, because it's going to be absolutely amazing. It is life changing, you all,
Absolutely.
to be in the room and be a part of that experience. Thank you so much, Charliza, and thank you for being here.
Okay. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. You all, we have one more speaker that we're going to be bringing to you to talk about resilience. And this topic of resilience, I think, is such an important, essential topic in this time. Specifically in this time, specifically after we've been talking about business and being impacted by barriers in business. And so I'm going to take a moment to introduce to you Joseph Kim, and I'm super excited to have Joseph join us today. I'm going to share Joseph's bio, and we're going to talk about resilience and overcoming with Joseph. But Joseph has experienced over 7 near-death experiences, okay, in life, right, in this life, right. He was given another chance at life, And he has been given the gift to help people rebound from loss and become relevant quickly. He understands the importance of building resilience and strength through trials. He is a top tier short form video producer and consultant who understands how to stay relevant to what the audience wants to hear. Joseph currently lives in Atlanta, Georgia. Well, we'll be in Atlanta, Georgia for the You Are Worthy Summit. Super excited about that. Joseph has also traveled to over 46 states and several countries. He was a former professional athlete, cliff diver, one wheel driver. Welcome to the room, Joseph. Is so good to see you. I'm super excited to be talking with you this evening and going in deeper about our topic today. Thank you for being here.
No, Trina, thank you for this time. And it's always wonderful to share space with you and to be able to add value to somebody else. So I appreciate it very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. And, I read your bio, and reading your bio, I know a lot of people are even impacted by that, to have 7 near death experiences. And you're here and you're moving forward, but you had these barriers, this barrier that those are real huge barriers that you've had to overcome. Can you talk to a little bit more with us about that part of your journey? If you're okay going a little bit into it.
No, Trina, that's a great question and a great lead-in point. It took these 7 experiences to really wake up. And so I thought I had things figured out. I was one of those who had that typical purpose, that had that typical journey that they would go to, the safe route through life. And so each of these experiences were considered warnings. And so to clarify, near-death experience is not you're about to get hit in a car accident and you just narrowly escaped. This is actually where you have been pronounced dead for longer than a few minutes. And so they've gotten longer and longer each time up to the most recent time that I've experienced this. And so one of the sole barriers that I had faced that I didn't know, because all of these situations, these turning points or these touch points occurred because of a lack of function of the brain. You could say the brain shut down because I wasn't getting the lesson. And my barrier was, how do you call it? Working too hard to save people. I was trying to become the superhero. You know what I mean? It's you try to do things for people that they should do for themselves, but it got to the point where they needed you. They relied on you to do things for them because it was a developed habit. And whether it's stress or whether it's just anything that you could think of that you don't really think about, the stress started mounting up because it started mounting, it started building, and it literally led to the point of these touch points. And it started when I was 7 years old and then up to 2021. And so these were reminders where people can live independently. They should be able to learn how to think on their own. But we've gotten to the point where we want to step in. We have the kindness in our heart to want to serve others. But when we manipulate that script and we become the script, we become the character that they should be or the person that they should be, then your brain goes into malfunction. It goes into overdrive. And then that's when you shut down. But you aren't giving the proper countdown. These are unexpected events that happen. And for those that have experienced at least one before, you know what I'm talking about because it's not something that would be announced. It's not on the schedule. It's not a reminder you get like this time we're meeting tonight, conversing tonight. You don't get that reminder. It just happens. The more that you don't pay attention to the lesson or the danger, then it's going to repeat itself. So,
what's coming up for me is the extreme stress of being something other than what you are, right? Or stepping into, it's the people pleasing, being what other people wanted you to be, and how much of a stress that is. to where you are no longer being who you are. Like it's totally not you. It's totally what somebody else's dream was for you or what they want for you. And the fact that your body will shut down or your mind could shut down from that because you're not being who you are. You're not able to express that. And there's a response, an internal response that happens that says, you know what, I can't do it. Can't do it. Can't do it. Can't do it. We're not supposed to do that. So how did you bounce back for that? How did you move beyond that way of operating and walking through life?
That was a very tough journey to take, because one of the most important steps that many of us don't take or we don't learn is setting boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
When you set boundaries, it's you set them for yourself, but then you have to set them for others. Meaning, it's like having your whole house. It's a beautiful home, and you have, well, you lack fencing, and your doors are unlocked, and there's money on the table, or there's valuables, or even kids, and it's having no boundaries. Say, hey, you're welcome to walk in. I don't care who you are. Don't care about your background. You can take whatever you want if you so choose to. But when you set the boundaries, one of the boundary setting is actually the easy part, but it's when you execute and when somebody else responds to those boundaries, who would be used to you in a sense, and they get angry at you, they start retaliating, and it's just these emotions that come up. It's the reason why many of us don't set these boundaries. And another is, because of the boundaries, instead of me doing everything for them, I would actually lead them with questions, or I would possibly lead them to resources, because perhaps they know how to solve these problems. They know how to overcome these situations. But if you don't allow them to act on their talents, gifts, abilities, or who they are, their identity, then you'll never know. They'll never know, and they'll live that life aimlessly. But at the same time, I also encourage them along the way, because they're set foot on something that they've never done, which was to think for themselves, because they relied on you as the training wheels. And I literally took the training wheels off, except I still have my arm out and say, hey, you can still hold on to me for a bit, but I'm going to let go. And even if you fall off your bike, I'm still going to cheer you up, and I'm going to encourage you, but I'm not going to do it for you.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I think it's so important to set boundaries. And I have to share that I learned how to set boundaries very late in life. I say that, but they had to be set, right? You have to do that. And Adrian says, my God, wow. Adrian says, I think sometimes we want to please others so much that we neglect ourselves. Yes. And yes, we have to learn to say no and set boundaries and move on. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's a part of claiming your worth and taking your life back, right?
Yeah.
Adrian says people will use you because they are selfish, but oftentimes they are not there for you when you need help. Yeah, that is very true. What do you want to share with that, Joe?
You nailed it right on the spot. And it seems like whenever the funniest thing is when people call you, they call you because they want something. And unfortunately, we don't live in a very trust rich world today. I wish we could, because it used to be, let's call to check on each other, but then it's no, they set it up where, hey, how you doing? And then maybe something new or an update on something, then they ask something. It's like you can almost structure the conversation. And so it's funny to me, because they don't know about the boundaries, which I don't give them any judgment. I just hope that they can turn around at some point and they can learn to set these boundaries. So it's just amazing that a conversation like this happened, I think about 4 hours ago. And then every day since, from Thursday of last week. So 7 straight days. So at least one person that called asking for something. So it's pretty wild to me.
That's something, and I think that comes in what kind of society we create, right? That we're in. And I think in the US specifically, that there is a lot of get up and go, do this, be on this time, be here, be there. And we're so overprescribed with being scheduled. And feeling the need to have things in place to move, that people aren't taking the time to really sometimes check in. So I think it depends on that community. I had a fortunate time to be in Bahia, Brazil, last week in Salvador, and people literally check in. That's the culture, to see how you're doing, because we are here for each other. We are that, that is the culture. I'm here because of you, right? And I think about Ubuntu in South Africa. I am because you are, right? And how important it is to step into that. And if we get to the place of being able to practice that and slowing down a bit, really checking in on people and say, hey, how are you? Just talking, making time for that real check-in is essential. I see that my kids are practicing that. Hi, mom, how are you? They do that as their first thing of entering in with me. They don't come and ask me for things first right away in the morning. It is, hi, mom, how are you? And I think that's because that's how we practice in greeting them in the morning. And that's what they're starting to do as well. And so I so appreciate what you have to share. I want to ask you what's coming up for you as we're talking about this.
Wow. So there is a fashion show. It's called the Royal Urban, and it's happening locally in Atlanta. And it's hosted by a group called Colorful Creations. They're an organization of, whether you're from a broken family or you're at a pretty good family, the founder of the organization is hosting a fashion show to encourage young girls and also I would say aspiring models to express in art and other talents that they have. So it's more of like a talent show in a sense, but it's to give them a chance to shine and for them to see a real world example of what it means to be encouraged, or being, as you said, being in the right environments of people, and what boundaries look like and what encouragement looks like. But it seems like it's icing on the cake is the entertainment, the music, but on the inside of the cake itself is the actual meat about teaching values and principles, but in a fun way so the kids can learn. So I will be their social media personality, and I might actually walk the runway and model some clothes, but then we'll also speak and have a little moment to share with the young kids and stuff. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's coming up this Sunday, actually.
Okay, beautiful. That's so awesome. Think about the community and what we build for the young ones in time and space is so important, because that's how we get to reshape our values and reshape our communities. When we go back to activating and creating events like this, and even events that you're attending this Sunday and the You Are Worthy Summit, right? Those events are really there for the person, there for the people, there for the community. Absolutely. And Adrian says, I think we sometimes want to please others. Did I say that? Yes, that one. No, let me see if there's something. Oh, people will use because they are selfish, but I said that too. Okay, I think I said it all. Facts, Adrian says facts. Yes. And I want to talk to you about this too, because in your own process in life, you're resilient, right? To experience what you've experienced and be able to bounce back from that. I want to hear from you. What does resilience mean to you? And how can people step into having resilience in their own lives?
That is a great question. It's probably the best question I've been asked. And I had to redefine this several times, but I had to actually write this down. And I basically wrote down resilience is when you're taken to the absolute bottom, rock bottom, actually more bottom than rock bottom, but you have no more to give to yourself to get up. It's that little extra, whether it's spiritual or we could call it a second wind, that'll get you back up. And how that helps people, that's actually all of us, because we have been worn down with many facets of life, and it could be tremendous stress from the transition from pandemic lockdown to we don't even know what's guaranteed, and all this crazy stuff that's happening in the world. You're inundated with so much of these, what they call impressions. There's so much on social media, AI, there's just so much technology or so many things. And the behavior is just, it'll knock somebody down, but it's not Rocky where you might be able to get up. Sometimes you might have to stay down because you don't have anything left to give. And so my encouragement is that it's okay to stay down for a bit, but then once you're granted this little extra, whether it's spiritual, whether it's physical, or whether it's mental, then getting up doesn't mean you're just jumping up and bouncing back. Bouncing back could be literally putting your hands down on the ground, centering yourself, and somehow getting some balance to muster up the extra you may never even have to just lift yourself up and to just stand upright. That's what resilience would be for other people too.
Hmm. Definitely. And when you were talking about this thing, this spiritual or physical, something that like the second wind, I think about that hope,
Mm.
right? The hope and the or the understanding of this is just a moment, or things can be different, or things will be different, right? This is a moment in time. This may impact me this way now, but I can stand up. I can, move. I can, maybe even it's lifting in my head or lift a finger, whatever it is. And that you talked about, it may not be getting up and bouncing up really quickly, but it's taking that next step. And I think that also brings me to the point of belief, and believing in you,
Mm.
believing in the opportunity, believing in a next moment of being, that we have that within, as a part of our process.
It's just like if you ever watch a sporting event, whether it's the NFL or the NBA, and a player gets knocked out and they're placed on a stretcher or in the ambulance, but before they're carried off the field, they give a thumbs up, and that's all we need. And you hear the crowd cheering and standing ovation, like, thank goodness this person is alive. We did have an exception last year in a very prominent national televised game. He didn't get up because he had to get resuscitated, which doesn't happen very often. But then when he was given his second life again, he gave a thumbs up because he bounced back too quickly. And it was a very complicated situation with his heart. We know this player, and he's actually doing well because all he had to do was just give the thumbs up and to give the people, like you said, the belief and hope that, okay, he's given another chance. He's not gone. We don't want you to be gone. We want you to be here with us.
Hmm. We want you to be here with us. And I think that second chance, that thumbs up, because we want to be here for us, right? And for that next moment too. And Adrian says that, yes, that was deep. Yes, very much so. And that connection, I think, is so essential and so important, specifically in the now, because we are given a second chance. Every second, every moment, for you and those who are experiencing the near death experience and coming back, that's your second chance. But also in life, every second we're given a new moment to be and step into it. And so how do you feel that comes together and aligns with life goals and being able to move forward, if we're able to step into that way of being and understanding?
Resilience actually rewires the brain because of so much of that's happening in our lives. We do tend to drift a little bit from time to time. It happens to the best of us because when drifting isn't just necessarily thrown off course, where like you get taken in by a whale and it shoots through its spout and you fly 10,000 miles away, but it's these little distractions, little discouragements, and so that take you fully away. Just like an airplane, when it takes off course in the beginning, so it has to readjust and realign. But it helped me recenter and remind myself or warn myself that I have a purpose. We all were born with a purpose, but it may not be unearthed in the beginning because, again, we do go through what they call free will. We have the choice to do whatever we want. Now, would that bring consequences? It would eventually. But it was, for me, with my values of creating adding value. Now, legacy is, of course, down the road, but it's adding value, waking up, being blessed to be a blessing, being valued to provide value. I took resilience as little light warnings, because again, if you don't learn the lesson now, or if you are doing anything that takes you away, it's the question of, will this get me closer to my purpose being fulfilled, or will it take me a step or 10,000 away from the purpose that's been aligned to me? So I treat these as warnings to kind of give a little pinch, like a pinch in the hair, to say, oh, okay, I need to pay attention. Let's get focused. Let's lock and load and let's go.
Mhm. Yeah, to be on that trajectory is so important to know. I love what you shared and how you put that together, right? Of stepping into the purpose. That's our work to do, and the legacy is something that we lead in the future. And stepping into our purpose work. And earlier we talked about the power of that and what that does, and ultimately leading to our impact, leading to the legacy. But realigning with that in the now and getting on track with that is important, and aligning with your values after bouncing back from bouncing back, or going through a moment where you've had to step into resilience, of really realigning yourself with what's important. Why are you here? What are you here to activate, and stepping into that? Adrian said, through prayer change, things change, yes, and every obstacle that we go through brings us out stronger and better, and it teaches us to be thankful where we are, and causes us to move toward our purpose.
That's good.
Yeah, that's real good. That's real good. So I want to share this, Joe. I so appreciate you, and we've like talked about some really heartfelt things, and I think things that are very impactful, and will help people think about resilient moments and stepping into aligning with their values. But you're going to be talking with us at the You Are Worthy Summit about being relevant again, right? You're going to be taking this conversation even further at the You Are Worthy Summit, and I'm super excited. Super excited that you're going to be joining us there. Did you want to share anything about the summit?
It is a time when you can't miss it. You cannot miss this, or else you really, really missed it. It's going to be an incredible experience to share. And as they say, with great minds think alike, but I would say great people share alike, and they share in these spaces together. I'd say buckle your seatbelts. You don't even know what to expect, because they say you want to read great books, you want to listen to great audios, you want to hang out with the best of the best people. And I'd say the number three, being at great conferences and being around people. But you are worthy. That's actually a statement. When you say it, you should say, I am worthy. That's my conference. I want you to take this as a conference that you can own and mean that, because one of the things that I would say, if there's a secret sauce to really just succeed in life, is belief. In that conference, you will build so much belief. It'll take it. You'll take off. It'll be off the roof. It'll be a barn burner. It'll be to the point where you have to bottle everything up, because you're not going to be able to fully explain to somebody who just missed out, because they just missed out. So I hope that you could take something from it and learn from all these wonderful people, because they have a particular perspective you might relate to. You might relate to their story. And from there, you might be able to see, okay, I can believe, because they took a similar path that I am taking right now. I believe I'm on track. So I can't wait. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be awesome.
Definitely, definitely, definitely is exciting and awesome. And Adrian says, yes, pure excitement. Let's go. Yes, definitely. So make sure you go to youareworthy.live/Joseph. Use the full URL that you see on the screen, and in the comment section, https://3w youareworthy.live/Joseph, to be sure to join us at the You Are Worthy Summit in June. We're going to be live in Atlanta, June 28th through the 30th. And we're going to rock this out, you all. We're going to help people to really step into their inner power, and step into a bolder version of themselves, and activate based on what's important, based on being resilient, based on stepping into that alignment, and stepping into your purpose. So super excited about this conference.
Amazing. I'm looking forward to it. Remember, be bold and believe.
Be bold and believe, you all. Thank you so much, Joseph. It was such a pleasure to have you join us here for the Move Beyond Barriers Virtual Summit and our conversation and introduction to the You Are Worthy Summit that's taking place live in Atlanta this June. So make sure you get your ticket and get into the room. And if you have questions, you all, you can make sure to get in touch with my team at support@trinaboldenfields.com, and someone will reach out to you and answer your questions. If you have them, someone will respond from my team. And I want to say thank you so much, you all, for tuning in this evening. Thank you, Joe, for joining us. So good to have you.
Take care, and thank you so much, Trina. It was well worth the time for sure.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Joe. And you all, we had such a fabulous time today talking with our summit speakers, all the people who joined us this evening, from Tandy to Tamara to Charlisa and Joe, will be at the You Are Worthy Summit in June. That's taking place June 28th through the 30th. We do want to invite you to get your ticket and join us in the room. And I know I shared Joseph's URL that you can go and grab your ticket if you would like to join us there. It's going to be powerful, absolutely amazing. So be sure to get your You Are Worthy Summit ticket. Be there in the room. Invite someone who you know needs this information and to be a part of this transformational process. We are here for day 4, you all, tomorrow for the Move Beyond Barriers virtual summit. And we're going to be talking with Janice Coleman tomorrow and Dr. Lori Mans tomorrow. It's going to be amazing, the conversation that you are going to hear from those two. And we're going to help you step into who you are, the work that you're here to bring in our conversation, but also getting you ready to think about how you want to step into that next version of who you are, and getting you ready to think about how you can join us at the You Are Worthy Summit so that you can activate what you're here to activate, right? So know you are worthy and step into that bolder version of yourself. And I do want to share how you can also be sure to get the replays, you all, of the Move Beyond Barrier Summit here. So and get the workbook. Get the replays in the workbook. I'll share this with you. You can get the replays in the workbook so that you can work through what we've talked about and prepare yourself for the You Are Worthy Summit, because we're going to take these concepts of what we've shared here this evening deeper, and help you get to the place where you need to be so that you can activate your purpose and create the legacy that you're here to lead. So thank you so much for tuning in for the Move Beyond Barriers virtual summit. You all, we will be live tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern time on the same channels that you are via Facebook and LinkedIn. And if you're watching via YouTube, this is where we'll be. So come back here tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern time so you can hear from Janice Coleman and also from Dr. Lori Mans, who's going to be talking about the power to become, and talking about moving forward with vision and commitment, you all. Powerful stuff. So be sure to join us here tomorrow. Make sure you register for the Move Beyond Barriers Summit so you can get the workbook, or found out how you can get to the workbook and how you can hold on to the replays for the lifetime. That'll be listed there. And then get in touch with us. If you have any questions, you can reach out to my team at support@trinaboldenfields.com. And be sure to join us at the You Are Worthy Summit that's coming up in June. I'll be talking more about that tomorrow, sharing that with you. If you signed up for the summit, I'll be sending you some updates via email about the You Are Worthy Summit as well. So thank you so much for tuning in this evening. Have totally enjoyed this process, totally enjoyed being in the room with everybody. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. We'll talk soon.